Hi everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you again so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Taking a look here again at Bitcoin, double checking a few key factors, seeing what's going on. This is actually a very interesting situation because we're coming up to this 0.618 fib level, this $55,000 resistance level, and it's something we want to kind of pay attention to and just kind of see if that may be a possibility. We're going to check some indicators and just kind of make sure that we understand where points of rejection might lie. Again, previous lows, new highs, there's that too, but this is also a macro fib level based on the more recent range that we've been within. Okay, so again, it's basically the more recent low to the more recent high. It's best to use larger time frame fib levels for situations like this because we're still discovering our bottom, right? We can't just presume the bottom is in. So instead of always adjusting your fib levels, every couple of hours, I much rather use larger, more macro fibs for situations like this. Again, this is more swing trade related analysis, right? We're not just day trading our life away. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I have day trading bots for that specific reason, but on the same accord, there's different strategies for different scenarios here. So again, let's go ahead and take a look at some backend data, kind of see where we're at here. And while we're loading that here, I do want to say, hey, shout out to BTCC. Thank you for the awesome opportunity for our community members. A nice alternative for no KYC or VPN requirements. So if you want to try something different, have a very healthy deposit bonus, a link down below for them. Check them out. They're actually a very good exchange. I like them because they offer demo trading and they've been around for since 2011, like 13 years. That is a pretty long time in the crypto world considering Bitcoin's only been around just a little bit longer. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the liquidation here and recognize 7 days on the left, monthly on the right. And just understand we're kind of in the middle of this this great wide open here, right? We got some shorts, of course, above us, little bits here and there. We can see 55.5 as that next kind of heavier area of concentration. I also shared this with my community here a moment ago. Oh no, that's for Solana, I apologize. Let's go ahead and pull up the last 24 hours just to kind of get perspective. Sorry, this is 12 hours rather. And we can see kind of that there's a pretty heavy amount of short liquidation level at 55,000 to 55.2. That basically implies people have confidence that that 55K range is going to be a resistance. It's a round number. It's also, a fib level. It would make sense for us to see that. Either way, to zoom out here, just give you a quick perspective as well. We can see there's still a massive amount of liquidation here. I discussed that with my community as well. I think it's somewhere in the range of somewhere between 50 to 100 billion, just loosely between 48 and 46K. Right, so there's a lot of liquidation out there, folks. There's just chunks and chunks. Again, that's slowly dissipating over time because people are either closing their stop loss, taking profit, whatever the case is. It's slowly going away as the price increases. I wouldn't say it's significant though, but there's definitely a lot of volume there. So just know that. Anyways, having said that, we got a nice little bottom here at 52.5. That's the tentative bottom. We'll discuss that here in a minute. So that's kind of the overview there. Let's quickly peek over at Bitcoin dominance and just recognize that it is starting to pull back, which is good for altcoins. We can see this here, right? Altcoins, even though yesterday was a very red day, a lot of altcoins kind of bottomed out. They didn't pull back super, super hard. Granted, we had some good corrections, don't get wrong, but as far as the previous pullbacks for Bitcoin, we've seen a much more aggressive bottoming or just no bottom really. Just the bottom drops out for altcoins, and this is a good sign. So just kind of give you a heads up. This is probably a favorable weekend to consider some long positions on altcoins. We have a long open with SUI. I'm considering some others as well, but I absolutely want to wait to see what Bitcoin does first. Again, Bitcoin's been giving us a lot of false positives lately, so it doesn't make a ton of sense to get too heavy with longs or shorts at this point. Because we may be at the bottom, we may be seeing a recovery, but something tells me the bottom may not be in yet. Okay, I hope it is, but it just doesn't feel like it. Anyways, the whole point of this is just kind of letting you know that Bitcoin dominance is pulling back. Altcoins are starting to recover. You're probably going to have more luck trading altcoins than you are Bitcoin at the exact moment here, just because they are starting to increase. We do take a look here at CME futures just to quickly understand. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this one here. We closed at 52,800. So with the price action being closer to 55K, there's again another solid chance we'll see that retest of that lower level because of the simple fact that CME gaps commonly get filled. Okay, so just know that. But bear in mind too, there's a bit of a fair value gap on the CME futures at 56,000. So we might actually see 56K hit first. Okay. And we can probably see that on the regular charts too, if I'm not mistaken. There is a fair value gap here as well. You can see right about 55.8. So rough estimate, I'm expecting a solid rejection in the 55 to 56K range. It might be a solid consideration for a short because we are still honoring this descending trend line until we break free from it. There's no reason to consider a long. In fact, Bitcoin's recent history, every time it breaks free from a descending trend line, it decides it wants to dump shortly after it gives us confirmation that a long is viable. So I think at this point I'm getting a little gun shy with taking some longs with Bitcoin at confirmation. So we're going to probably try to do things a little different here. We're probably going to try to short into this resistance based on this descending trend line. Again, just something kind of to mix it up a little bit. It'll probably be the one time that Bitcoin decides to go to the moon, but whatever. That's just how trading is, right? Anyways, statistical probabilities increase as we look at these things here, right? So we've kind of understood the back end stuff, what's going on here, where we at on the current trends, right? We're still below all moving averages. The daily is going to look bearish, no matter how you look at it, until we get back up over 50 on the RSI. That's me personally. I want 50 on the RSI and 50 on the SMA to be able to have any kind of concluding like, okay, we're really here now. Because once more, a lot of the recent trades we've been kind of taking have been just barely breaking above them, not like a solid close above, right? So a little premature in that sense, if you will. And we take a look here, of course, TSI, MACD, everything's still showing bearish divergence. There's nothing really, telling us that we're going to be back on track soon. So please try not to get too crazy with longs right now. It doesn't make a ton of sense. Bitcoin's still defining or establishing a range. And until we go range bound, we cannot presume the price is going to start in its ascending trend. Okay, ascending trends only occur as a result of a range bound activity being established and broken. Okay, we got to look for that. Again, something kind of as an example, it would be something like this here, just to give you perspective. If this is the range that we're in, we'd need to be able to break this range. Okay, once we break the range, we see a bullish backtest of the horizontal trend line. The price is more likely to increase. That's generally what we want to be looking for, and we don't have that yet. Again, we're going to be a long ways away from it because we don't even have a defined range yet. So please understand that. Until that happens, we can presume the descending trend will continue. Okay, the 4-hour time frame was quickly recognized. Still under 50 on the RSI, but a bit of a recovery here. Again, when you get close to 30 on the RSI and close to 20 on the MFI, bounces typically happen. So that's what we're seeing now. Again, it's not a guarantee, but every time we've seen that, it's occurred. So it's pretty distinct probability because, again, we had a similar scenario here where the price recovered, and we're seeing that here as well. It's, again, not exact, but it's usually temporary. So if you're a day trader, I would look for confirmation in sorts here with the 4-hour RSI and money flow index. They're both very helpful. And from what I'm learning from my community too, this is also something that's very present in Market Cipher. It's just that has like little bells and whistles that might make it a little easier to identify. But me personally, when I see these things here, it just makes sense, especially combining that with MACD convergence that we're seeing right now. This could be a very good buy signal. Again, I would like to recommend it being a temporary buy signal. I would say secure profits between 55 and 56K, just based on what we've seen here so far, but that's roughly the idea, okay? Taking a look at the hourly, speaking of which, let's see where we're at on the cloud. Still not confirming, but our lagging span is now free and clear-ish. I mean, within the next hour it will be. That's generally the very first sign you want to see in order to consider getting confirmation for a long position. We've also broken above the conversion line, and the baseline has essentially converged. So that's a positive sign too, but the safety net in most cases is getting back up above the cloud. Now lately, we've been getting a lot of false positives here, specifically with the cloud, right? Where the price action breaks above temporarily, tells us, hey, we're good to go, and then it's like a big old F you right in your face. Okay, so again, while the Ichimoku cloud is a good confirming factor, there's a lot of other factors present, such as this descending trend line. So you need to know if you're going to consider taking a long with confirmation at 55,000, you might want to get in and get out quickly before this descending trend line attacks or essentially rejects the price action. Okay, so again, those are just some things I've been picking up here lately. Bitcoin's been very, very good at being the great deceiver lately. And I think we got to kind of switch our mindset a little bit and just make sure we understand that, till this descending trend is broken, these confirming factors we're seeing are temporary at best. Okay, so please understand that. Either way, my speculation here is we're going to see this fair value gap probably filled, mainly because it's present on multiple exchanges, or in this case, multiple different entities. We can see it reflected here as well on CME futures. So with us having a fair value gap here, I would say we're going to get that filled. And then I would also say that a short from 55 to 56K makes more sense to come down here, this 53,000 mark, to fill that CME gap that's currently being created right now. Okay, so again, just some kind of things to be mindful of and to think about. All right, so that's my strategy here. I'm going to try to short between 55 and 56, and my take profit targets would be closer to the 53K range, or at least somewhere between there, right? That's generally what we're looking at. And that's as of right now. This will very much change once Asian markets open tomorrow or traditional markets open on Monday. So just please understand that. Either way, I'll keep you abreast as much as possible, and I do appreciate you watching. Once more, check out BTCC. They're an awesome exchange. Link down below for them. Check them out. They're a new partner for us. And also, of course, if you're not familiar, I have playout charts on my Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Make sure you check those out. I've been providing more macro ranges here for you just so you understand where we're at, but these are available for you if you're not familiar with that. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.